Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 49. That's right, 49. We're getting close to number 50. But welcome to episode 49 of The Mesh Tongue. I'm Brian Boyle, and thank you for checking out runpainless.com. You can find more information about what I'm talking about through these videos. These daily videos each day, they get posted online on YouTube. You can continue to look for more information on runpainless.com. As always, you can also send any questions, comments, concerns, you name it, to Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at company, 5k.com. And I'll be happy to get you that, get back to you, whether it's a question, whether it's just a comment. I've been getting a lot of questions from people, so be sure to continue to send those. I love those. If it's something that's valuable that I think could be shared with other people, I'll certainly make an episode about this. But hey, as always, I appreciate the love and the sharing. So today's Saturday morning. Hopefully, depending on where you're at, this may be early for you, it may be late for you, depending on when you're watching this. But hopefully, you're getting your run in, and the temperatures aren't too bad out there for you. The skiing continues to be fantastic here in Utah. So I spent the last 2 days doing a little cross training skiing. Today's off, so from being up on the mountain, so I got my workout in this morning. But hopefully, like I said, you're getting out after it. Maybe you had a race. Leave your comments below. Tell us how you did in the race. Let's kind of continue to cheer others on. So if you did something this morning that was fantastic, you had a great workout, let us know in the comments below. That'd be great. Today I want to talk to you about the marathon, because I know a lot of you are planning for spring marathons, where maybe you qualified for Boston and you're just trying to get through this time to get to Boston. Maybe you've got a spring marathon. Utah's got races just about every other, it seems like a marathon every other week, but races, there's about 10 to 14 races any given Saturday. So we've got a lot of races here in Utah, and depending on where you're at, you may be the same. But I want to talk to you about the marathon, and the reason I want to talk to you about the marathon is that I think there's too many people out there that feel like they have to spend a crap ton of money on the best Garmin, the best, most expensive shoes, the best lightweight materials, all these things. And I think instead of doing that, I think what they ought to do is spend more time on the preparation and the planning of the marathon. And here's the reason why. So, if you haven't seen the book, The Olympic Marathon, I highly recommend this. This thing came out in 2000. They never updated it. I was looking to see if they had updated it. But it's a detailed history from basically the very first Olympic marathon, which was in 1896 in Athens, all the way up to 1996 in Atlanta. And they kind of go into the process of picking the site in 2000, but they never really get into the 2000 Olympics, because this was produced in 2000. But David Martin and Roger Gwynne go into a very, very detailed history. It's fascinating history on the Olympic marathon. But what they talk about is they talk about the times, they talk about the things, some of the training, some of the courses that these folks were running. If you've ever read the history of Bill Rodgers and his training back in the 70s, fascinating. The guy was from Boston, the Massachusetts area, very cold winters, before micro materials that help the sweat. And the guy's wearing blue jeans because they were the warmest clothes that he had to go out and run. He was running over 300 miles a week. When was the last time he ran over 300 miles a week? All right, now, again, he's shown since that you didn't need to run 300 miles a week, but imagine running more than a mile in blue jeans. All right, and this guy's out there with blue jeans on, running 20 miles, 25 miles, 30 miles. You get it, all right? Not exactly the epitome of comfort. All right, he ran a 2:09:27 in wearing those clothes, with training runs. So if somebody can run without the best equipment, okay, a 2:09:27. Now maybe he's a gifted athlete, and there's no denying that Rodgers and Shorter and some of these Olympic marathoners, and this is back in the day, so the times have gotten faster for sure. And we're seeing times now, eclipsing the 2 hours 3 minute mark, and getting lower. They're shooting for that under 2 mark. All right, and so yes, there are some improvements in that, but the majority of us aren't even running anywhere close to that. My personal best marathon was a 2:49. All right, I was shooting for faster than that. I've run a 1:09.5, but and I had these materials, but my watch was a Timex Indiglo. Okay, this was the watch that I had. It had a lap counter. All right, so I could kind of 8 lap memory. All right, I was running 109. I didn't have the best of anything. That I was using an index card that was tape or paper clipped, or I'm sorry, safety pin to my shirt, so I could look at my split times. I could look down and keep track of that. These guys didn't even have that. Bill Rogers didn't even have Gatorade. He had flat Coke. They had to take Coke, they had to open up the lid, let it go flat, and then they would allow the Coke, once it was non-carbonated, and the carbonation had evaporated and kind of gone off, they were drinking that. They gave them a little sugar, gave them some caffeine. Okay, that was their energy drink at the time. When was the last time you tried drinking Coke, especially flat Coke? I mean, you take flat Coke now and you go, oh, this is a terrible one, and you throw it out. These guys were using that as their sports drink. So I think sometimes we get too far away from the actual training methods, the things that actually make us better. Okay, we get too wrapped up in the, hey, I need the best. Which Garmin should I use? The details like that don't necessarily matter unless you're at the level where you're going, hey, I'd love to get my marathon from a 2:05 to an under 2. Let's get those things down first, folks. All right, get down to the sub 220 mark. All right, and then you can start thinking about, should I have my Garmin? What playlist should I have? Okay, all these details. Otherwise, you're just wasting more time, I think, trying to think about and analyze than actually doing the training. So, anybody else got any comments, any thoughts on that? I've seen it quite often, and when people ask me these questions, and we say, well, what's your training look like? Well, it's kind of haphazard, sporadic. Man, get your training plan down. We talked about the Jack Daniels running formula. There's a lot of good coaches that are online now that have some fantastic programs. Splurge for that if you're really serious about your training. But again, take your serious training and make it serious so that you're sticking with it. It's not haphazard. Don't worry about this other stuff. As I say, once you get your times down, these things don't really matter. These extras, the watches, the best earbuds, you name it, the best shoes. All right, they don't really matter if they've made running probably more accessible, if that's a good word. That people are able to run because now they're able to keep occupied. Before, you'd go mentally insane, like most of us, trying to repeat song lyrics and whatnot because we didn't have the earbuds back in the day when we first started out. But now people can run. They've got 3 hours worth of music, and that keeps them occupied or dissociates from the pain, whatever. And so maybe it's made running more accessible, and that's fine. That's great. And not everybody's going to go out and win. There's not going to be the folks that are going to go out and win every race. But again, if you're really serious about your running, take the training serious. Don't worry about the other stuff. That's all fluff. It'll help. Maybe it makes you feel better, and we've talked about that in previous episodes. But that's my thoughts. Hopefully you are well. Have a fantastic rest of the Saturday, and whatever you do, don't go hurting yourself to come back. But I'll see you again tomorrow for episode 50. Again, this is episode 49, The Mesh Tongue. Check out runpainless.com. Today we talked about marathons and why you need to be serious about your training and not worry about the other things, the fluff, if you will. Have a good one, and we'll catch you tomorrow.